What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Business of Strength podcast. I'll be your host today, Dan Goodman, and I am joined by two veterans of Varsity House Gym. Coach Colin and Coach Steph have been part of the team here for years. They have a tremendous amount of coaching experience, and in the last year, they've both taken on the role of really engaging our community and becoming community managers. Coach Colin in Ridgewood and Coach Stephanie here in Orangeburg. One of our goals here is to obviously provide results, but to give people one of the best hours of their day and really become that third place that you have home, you have work, and you have hopefully Varsity House, and it is a place where you are held accountable, a place that you can make friends, a place that you feel empowered to be the best version of yourself. And I can say that Colin and Steph have taken great measures into ensuring that happens on a daily, weekly, monthly basis in our facilities. They do a fantastic job of it. And a lot of times on shows like this, it's very focused on client acquisition, marketing, lead acquisition, leadership, accountability, how to pay coaches, all these types of things. And today it's heavily focused on improving member experience, the tips and tricks that you can do to be on the top of people's minds when they're not in your gym, and give people an excuse to talk about you and your gym positively at the dinner table. That is what drives referrals. And so oftentimes when you talk to a personal trainer or gym owner, like, what makes your gym special? It's like, oh, our community. But they have no way to metric that, and they have no way of knowing how to increase the work inputs for making the community stronger. And Colin and Steph do. So you're really going to enjoy this episode. Before we jump into it, quick reminder, we are a month away from the Strongest Year program, the Business of Strength retreat in sunny Scottsdale, Arizona, September 19th and 20th. There is still 1 week left to redeem $300, a $300 discount on a kick-ass 2 days. Ton of fun, amazing lineup. I'm excited to be in the audience as a student to hear other people speak, but the link is in the show notes. Don't miss out on saving $300. Make sure to handle that. We've got a huge crew already. Already we have 50 people signed up. We've got room for a few more. We actually just had to expand the size of room in anticipation of us breaking the limit. So if you want to do that, you can click the link in the show notes and get signed up. But without further ado, let's enjoy the episode. Coach Colin, Coach Steph, welcome to the Business of Strength podcast. You guys, this is the rookie show. I know you're both excited to be on, and I appreciate you accommodating my schedule with your schedule. And here we are. Welcome to the show. For the people that don't know you, please bring everybody up to speed with who you are and what do you do.
Go ahead, Steph.
Oh, you're throwing this at me first. Hi guys, I'm Steph. I've been working at Varsity House for the last 4 years. I interned here during the summer of 2020 during the pandemic, which was safe to say a fun time. I've been tasked to be the adult success coordinator here over the last year and a half, and I've been tasked to just help building relationships within clients and also just keeping clients in the building.
Awesome.
Hey guys, my name is Coach Colin. I also interned at Varsity House in 2022. And now I work part-time, so I'm part-time there during my senior year in college, and now I'm full-time over here in Ridgewood, New Jersey. And then I've been tasked with doing the community management in this facility and trying to keep clients to stay.
Awesome. One thing before we move on is the, we talk a lot about on the show before, but leadership. And I just got off a call with my buddy Derek Talish, and we're talking about what is leadership. And for us, it's been a real focus on the internship. And you see, we have two true strength professionals that both came through the internship now that have, full-time career jobs here. And if you're somebody that's listening to this and you've never spent time recruiting or developing young team members, like, what are you waiting for? That is our team has become powerful through that internship, and kudos to Coach Joe Strong, who is still a adjunct professor at Montclair State. And did either one of you take his class? Is that how that went
Yes.
down? Colin, you
I-
took his
No.
class?
I took Anatomy 1. His handwriting atrocious. Anatomy 2, handwriting atrocious. We always had to stop, but we made it. We made it. We
You
made it.
did? All right,
Yeah.
let's rate my professor on him real quick.
Oh God. I did not have him as a professor, so I can't speak much
I
on
love
that.
looking up his every once in a while look up Joe's rate my professor. Maybe we should copy the rate my professor in the show notes, but reading some of them out loud is so funny.
It's like handwriting terrible. Handwriting terrible. You should it's like great
It's all
professor.
that.
Handwriting
If you don't like
terrible.
sports, if you don't like football, you're screwed.
You're done. You're done for.
Yeah.
Don't even take
All
the
right,
class.
cool. So, now that you've been in the building now, I mean, both of you have been here for years. Obviously it started coaching, learning the X's and O's of coaching, how to control a room, how to set up and segment a group. But now you are working on the back end, the office side, so to speak, still coaching a lot, but you are doing the back end office work and, playing defense in terms of getting clients to, to stay and enjoy their experience and continuing to deliver on the best hour of their day. What strategies have you both used in the buildings to keep a strong, engaged community? What have been the most effective strategies that somebody listening to this might be able to take and employ at their gym?
I think for me, I've always been somebody that's been very personable in any aspect of work and personally. So I wanted people to feel comfortable coming into the gym and being able to just have a community around them. It's very intimidating showing up to a gym, especially Orangeburg is massive. So walking in here could be intimidating sometimes. And for me, it's like building relationship within the groups that I have, and also just having them bring their friends from the outside to come in so they feel more comfortable knowing like, okay, she cares about me and my health and wellness, but also just allowing me to bring somebody from the outside coming in, which is where I feel like referrals play a big role here. Is like, hey, the community is based around like husband, wife, kids, any type of family member has come here through the doors has just been so helpful, as far as like bringing people together, and just posting about them has been so helpful too, like acknowledging them. Some people just don't really use social media, but taking my phone out to take a picture with them and post it, I've gotten a lot of feedback from how great that is and how good they feel after the workout too. I made a joke yesterday with Matt and Alan because I paired them up together, and Alan, for people that obviously don't know, Alan's around like 60 to 70 years old, and he got paired with somebody that's 6'2", built like a wrestler, and he was chasing after him the whole time. And towards the end, we took a picture, all three of us together, and he's like, I had to keep up with him, he had to keep up with me. So it's an ongoing joke that I have with them now, but it's cool because you would never expect both of them to even have a friendship, and now they come to class all the time, and that's what being in this gym, in this industry, is all about for me.
So, Steph, somebody that's listening to this, they're hearing, okay, having fun, obviously knowing people's names, making it a very seamless opportunity to bring a friend, posting pictures for social proof. What's something like specific? Like, do you have any metrics that you try to keep there? Do you have a system? Do you, where do you share these photos? What is something that you could pass along that would be very tactical that they could use to be more effective with building community in their gyms, like straight away?
I mean, for Colin and I, we've used Google Sheets, to be honest. I think that's helped us, and he could speak on it too. But him and I have used that, and it's been such a habit of mine to just keep tabs on, who we're highlighting for the week so we don't double dip. He's obviously in a different location. So having the coaches here know, hey, I wrote these 4 people impact cards. Where do you feel like you can play a role in helping me out as far as the defensive side goes? And seeing like, hey, we're going to post on Slack and use that as like a community thing, have our own section where we're posting different pictures on there. So at least like I know, okay, this person posted this picture. Now I could post something else. And seeing just writing everything down has been so helpful for me. And instead of just like winging it and just coming in and just be like, I don't know what I'm going to do today. I'm just going to take pictures and hope for the best. And the check-ins for me, like the attendance report has been very helpful. We've been using Nominally, and I feel like that's just made everything so seamless for me, and using that to put it on the Google Sheets and type everything out so we're all pretty much on the same page has been
Yeah.
super helpful as far as that goes.
Cool.
On Tuesdays we have what we call a defensive meeting. So um we review everything that we go through. Like right now, for August, we have a table. It says like we have like a board that says August and listing out all people's birthdays. And let's say we have one that says Alster 29th, the 20th, and whatever. So it's as people walk in, they know whose birthday is it. And that also helps me to post on our Facebook group. We have a Facebook group for the people that don't know. We have a Facebook group. And then the one thing I would tell people to highlight, starting to highlight these people is just take a bunch of pictures, because you never know who, if like right now, for example, Yelena's birthday is coming the 27th, but I don't have to take a picture with her anymore because I've taken so many pictures of her. So now it's just in the back end of my camera, and I just pull it up, and I could just say, "Hey, happy birthday, Yelena!" Posting in a Facebook group, posting on Slack, for our media guys to highlight her even more on Instagram. Um, I think from go ahead, Stan.
No, finish, Colin.
I think for me is the is most effective thing to engage creating a community in Varsity House is the environment you create. Right. When as people walk in, what type of like you watch other coaches all the time. You watch your coworkers, you watch other coaches on social media, and there's college kids, there's kids that are tiny. Like what type of environment do you create? So for me, I was in the food industry, a waiter for 6 years, 5 years of my life. So I was trained that from the minute they walk in, you have to like greet them, say hi, speak their full names, introduce yourself, what do you like to drink, and go to their table every 2 minutes to see if they need anything else. So I have my background of like level of customer service in these in I didn't just work at like a dive bar. I worked in like a nice restaurant. So, you have the level of engagement of clients, service of clients that needed to be at 1 minute, 2 minutes. Do you need anything? Do you need water? So I think um I think a lot of people need that background of customer service in them to be able to help other people, and it translates to every single anything you do and in a gym. It's a customer service based um, business, so especially in a
100%.
private sector.
Asking you a very specific question because this is something that arises a lot. It's I don't want to have my phone out during the training session. How am I supposed to take photos? How do you both do that where it is not seen as a distraction by the client?
Colin
Well,
has a fancy schmancy camera.
I
I don't
have
have a fancy schmancy
I
camera.
have yeah, I
But
have a
I
camera.
I feel like I've gotten that a lot too. And the last event that we went to, with the SPF event, I had a couple of people ask me too, because I guess I'm pretty active on social media and posting selfies or pictures of clients. I feel like it just you have to gauge the time. And if it's in the beginning, especially for me with picking the adult of the month every month, just knowing like, hey, this person's coming to class that day and highlighting their successes and then taking the picture before I start explaining anything when it comes to the coaching part, or after the workout too. It's like, hey, you guys crushed it. Let's take a picture so I could highlight you. I'd never gotten, knock on wood, never gotten no yet. So
Yeah.
I haven't gotten anybody tell me like, I don't want my picture taken. But I think just knowing when the right time is, and it's 15 seconds where you just take your phone out, take a picture, and put it back in your pocket.
Yeah.
I think people have this perception like you're just gonna sit here and like wait on your phone and then just start recording and then just still wait there and check the video out. It's not supposed to do that. You just take whatever you can, maybe like 15, 20 seconds, and just put your phone away and then just
I
kind
th
of start coaching and doing your job.
I think it's communicating with them too, right?
Yeah,
Like for
I
me,
agree.
I have to like I use my phone to music. I use my phone to check Mindbody. I use my phone to check Slack if there's any messages towards it because I'm not always in my computer, so I can just check it right away. Um, for me, I just whisper under my breath or say in a low tone, like, "Hey, I'm just changing music real quick," or "Hey, I just checking for works real quick." It's communicating with them. Hey, I'm checking out the pictures, not like in a coaching way, but being able to communicate with all your clients. What are you constantly doing so they don't look confused and you don't look like
You don't look, you're not paying
you're
attention to
not
them.
paying
Yeah,
attention. It's like, oh,
yeah,
I'm gonna do something for you, but this is all for you, basically.
Hmm.
Like these pictures are for you. This
Yeah.
music is for you.
yeah,
Um,
and just like not posting it obviously like, in the
yeah,
moment
it's not for
either.
me.
I think that's
Everything,
another thing
yeah,
too.
anything
Just
is
like
off.
finding the right like time frame to post the pictures. It's not like, hey, I'm gonna just post it now and like write up a caption really quick where I need to actually go coach these people that are in
Right.
front of
Of
me, like
course.
these 15, 20 people. So I think just having your phone out for 10, 15 seconds is really not gonna make you a bad coach. It's just highlighting their successes, because how are you supposed to promote the gym or yourself if you don't really have anything to kind of base around that? So I feel
Mhm.
like that's helped me out big time, because people, I had a walk in yesterday through an Instagram DM, which that's never happened to me before, but she saw that Katie was pregnant. I was training her. And just from that one post, she wanted to come see the gym and see what we offer, which I never would have expected that to happen. But it's like social proof of seeing like, okay, I'm in the same boat as her. Why am I not training how she's training?
Right.
Because of
That's awesome.
not knowing.
That's
Yeah.
great. So on that, since we're talking about a potential new client, what steps are we taking to ensure clients feel welcome and integrated into this community, like from day one? What are the things that we review and the things that the action steps that are taken so that somebody does feel that love, they do feel that swift level
I was
of
gonna say
customer
that.
service from day one? How do we do that?
Go
I
ahead,
think
Colin.
we have a great communication towards our Slack channel, Orangeburg, Ordo, and Ridgewood. We have a great communication. So like if anyone comes in, Mike in Orangeburg would say, "Hey, so and so is coming in. She's very new, and if she has any needed modifications, we communicate that." I think the best thing that you ever do is to communicate with, everyone is in the same page. Because if everyone is not on the same page, like there's a lot of friction, as Adam would say, in the business, and
Absolutely.
you don't want friction there.
I think for
And
me too, like with sorry to cut you off, I
go
didn't mean
ahead,
to
go
cut
ahead,
you
go ahead, go ahead.
off. But with the assessment process, trying to build the relationship over the phone is so important. And obviously you could take the time to text them and try to get them set up for the assessment, but I think building that connection one on one, like over the phone, is so important, and having them feel comfortable knowing like, okay, she or he cares about me, is taking the time to call me and actually set up this assessment. I try to gauge how they're feeling, and if they've been to the gym, it may be like, last month, or it may be 6 months or a year from now that they've been like working out. So it's, why did you choose us and how did you find out about us, and wanting to build that community for them too, because it's an intimidating environment in general. And I always tell people from the beginning, I didn't like working out in the beginning when I first started. It was something that terrified me. I wanted to stay in a corner and not talk to anybody. And being here, especially with a lot of the clients that I've gotten, a lot of new clients, it's just taking my time with them and understanding, and for them to be like, hey, you should trust me because I'm here to help you. It's not just, oh, I'm going to take your money and just like, good luck, we're not going to help you at all. And the clients here have been so helpful because they'll see a new client, they'll come up to them, and knowing if they're like intimidated, like, hey, I've been training here for 5 or 6 years, it's awesome here, which we don't tell them to do that. It just kind of happens, which is another great thing. And that's how I think is, for me personally, with just building that relationship firsthand, the 20 seconds when you first get through the door from them, it's like going to make or break them. If you're not welcoming and if you're not excited to be there with them and even guide them, they may be very like timid in the beginning, but that shouldn't steer you from trying to act like that, because then you already lost a sale right when it walked through the door. So it's just building that relationship with them. You may not like fully get along with them right away, but towards the end of that hour, it may be the best of friends towards the end, and just making sure that they're comfortable that we are here to help them, not like, oh, just good luck and I'll see you another time.
I think too, like, the difference between waiting 20 feet away and waiting right from the door makes a difference to people. Like, where you're there ready to greet them. Hey, are you Steph? I'm here to take care of you. My one thing that I say to other people, and this comes back to the restaurant business too, I always say, all right, we'll take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll take care of you here. And they're always so worried about like, oh, I have always back problems and all. I said, we'll take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
And the same, it's service. Like, you're servicing them, they're paying a huge sum of money. Basically, you're handing them their life. So,
and reassuring them too is another big thing.
yeah, reassurance.
Reassurance is definitely something that we constantly have to do in here, just so people know that we really do care about them. And if anything, field any questions that they have. I'm the nutritionist here, so just helping them in any regards to nutrition if they need it, but just having them be open enough to come to me or go to any coach and talk to us is definitely very important for our community and how we've built things here.
It's also, you said it, Steph, on the phone, of building rapport on the phone, where Martin Rooney talks about this a lot, and I shared it in the group page last week. But the heaviest weight that anybody ever has to lift is the weight of the front door coming in for their first session. And even for a veteran that's trained for 2 years, that's like, who hasn't ever had a day where they don't feel like training? And we're all in a gym every day, to be like, hey, I got to get my shit together and drive over the gym and go in. And it's like, we take accountability here very seriously. And, when you can build rapport and a familiar voice and somebody's excited to see you, it makes the magnet is pulling them into the building a little bit more. So, don't shy away. If you're listening to this and you shy away from phone calls, you're like, oh man, I have to spend 15 minutes on the phone with this person. It's like, no, like, that's your opportunity to, break bread, so to speak, over the phone and make them feel comfortable to come into the gym. So speaking of time, I want to segue into how, so you're both really focused on defense, on client retention, on member experience, but you're both still coaches. So how do you what's the balancing act look like in terms of how you're allocating your time? How much time per day? So let's say I'm listening to this, I'm a coach doing 30 sessions a week, and you're like, hey, all this shit sounds great in theory, but how much time do you need to do it effectively? What's the lowest hanging fruit? If you were giving somebody some advice on how to start playing better defense in their gym, where do I balance my time? What should I prioritize? What should I focus on?
Go ahead, Steph. Oh, you want me to do it?
Oh,
right,
so you rose your hand like this.
I thought. So let's
like
go.
The water boy.
like I have a question. Yeah.
Oh,
go ahead. I'll piggyback off you.
The one thing that I've learned to balance my time is the follow-ups is very important. The follow-ups. You could email, like going away from the balance of time. The follow-up is very important. Like right now we have the car show coming up on September 5th. We have the 3-year celebration for Ridgewood coming up on September 13th. And then we have a wine and sip event on October for our 250 clients. And then that could be, all right, we're good this week, we're good, whatever. But the follow-up 2 weeks and before, 3 weeks and before, 1 week and before the event happens, to the people, to the business, and to the people that are attending the event, to get them engaged is very important. Now in the back of the head, let's say now I say something, what's the date today? August 22nd, and I write an email or a message today, and I write a message on Friday, then I write a message on the next week about the September 13th event, about our celebration. Now in the back of their head, they're gonna be like, all right, September 13th, all right, September 13th, even if they don't care, all right, September 13th. Now Friday comes and you're like, all right, I have nothing to do. All right, even if they don't like it, all right, might as well just pass by Ridgewood. There's nothing, like, even if they don't want to go in the first place, now they remember. And it's also the energy that you bring to the table, right?
I agree.
So,
Yeah,
so that
the for us, like, not speaking for him, for Colin, but it's a lot of like mental energy that goes into coaching, of course. And for me, time management was such a big, I mean, Dan knows, but time management for me wasn't like my strongest suit. And I try to do everything all at once. And if I don't have anything written out, I will start kind of scrambling and not and losing the goal of like where I needed to be in the beginning of the first place. I try to like do a little bit here, do a little bit there, do a little bit there. If I don't write things out of what I need to do on a given day, then it's not going to get done anymore. And I tried to go through college doing the same thing. It just doesn't work. The whole winging it thing. And coaching from like 6 to 11 straight through in the morning, you have to really take like 30 minutes to just decompress before you even start doing anything. Otherwise, I feel like nothing's going to get done. But having a couple hours every day has helped me a lot. Like even getting time back into my schedule has been very important, and writing what needs to get done. And if I can't do it myself, tend to facilitate it to somebody else. A birthday text could go such a long way. I sent 3 this morning, and I got somebody that messaged back saying that this made their day. I didn't even have to do anything crazy. I just said, I really appreciate you being a member here at our gym and wishing you all the best going into this like new chapter. But just being able to find like certain areas where could be lacking, especially, the wellness calls too. Everybody's away in August, but you don't really know if somebody's away. They could be going through something. So writing down a list of people that haven't been here in like 2 weeks or a month or 2 months, and understanding. I had a guy this morning go, I got 3 phone calls from you. I'm back now. Don't have to call me anymore. But I don't realize how important that is to somebody until they start realizing like, okay, they actually do care about me and like care about me coming to the gym. It's not just, if I don't show up for a month, nobody's going to notice. We're going to notice if you're not here. But finding the time in your schedule to really map everything out. I could do referrals, reactivations for an hour. And if I really wanted to just sit there and write everything out, and who I'm going to ask to refer this week, which is tying back to me and Colin, our meetings on Tuesdays with a couple of other coaches, but finding who we're gonna refer this week, how are we gonna ask them, kind of piggyback off of each other too, has been really helpful because he may have ideas that I didn't really think about, and vice versa. And just being able to gauge it that way and know like, okay, if Colin's doing this Facebook post this week, I'm not going to try to do the same post and just ask for more likes on the post. It doesn't really matter. It's more just finding time to write everything out that needs to get done for the week, and then making time within the schedule. We have mind body, so writing our mind body schedules has been super helpful for me. And I think what my issue sometimes is trying to find time for myself, which again, Dan does know that, but a lot of people know if I put training in my mind body, sometimes I don't get it done because I'm all over the place with trying to figure out how to condense stuff throughout the week. And that's where I feel like I bleed out my energy. I'm trying to put so much into everything else, but I'm taking away from what's making me happy and recharging my energy to keep going and keep coaching and keep building great relationships and good service.
Yeah, I was gonna say like on Tuesday, let's say our schedule this Tuesday, like we had a meeting from 1 to 2, and then I had to eat lunch, and then now we had a defensive meeting at 2:30 and have sessions at 3:30. And then now from 11 to 1, what do you do with that time? We must learn how to prioritize what is really what needs to get done in that 1 hour. If you say you train, and I'm different from Steph, so I'm like this work needs to get done. Training is like, or I said like I'm more like this work needs to get done. And then I'll train later. So I just like working. I don't know. I'm just a work addict, I guess. I like doing stuff, getting accomplished. It's like a checklist for me. It's like for me mentally, if I get that one checklist for that day, let's say it's a follow-up for all these 3 businesses, or I go to a business and send out flyers for that business. Or if I call a business and say, hey, can we joint venture with you? I think that's one, and that's one of the check marks I do. If I had like 8 check marks that day, that's how I feel accomplished, and now that's how I feel better. And then the training, that's why I said coaching, training is easy, the easy part. The hard part is getting these people to venture with us, doing the community
Build the community, yeah.
building community management. Those are the hard parts. Like the coaching.
Well, there's strategic stress involved. One thing that I wanted to bring up is, there's something called Parkinson's law, and Parkinson's law talks about you will stretch whatever's on your plate to the amount of time that you're given to accomplish that task. And it's like, listen, I can procrastinate with a lot of things, but it's saying, okay, you both have talked about metrics and, you having your defensive meeting. The defensive meeting is a checklist of metrics to make sure that you're on track. Well, the funny thing is like, let's say, you allocated 30 minutes a day, and like that's all you had was 30 minutes a day, and it was super compressed. Well, then you can't be on Instagram for 5 minutes. You can't, bullshit with your friend for 5 minutes. Like you're like, shit, I have to do 3 reach outs, one call, 1 card, and I need to post my online contribution. It's like, okay, 6 things, bang, 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 bang. It's going to take 30 minutes. Whereas if you leave yourself 3 hours, for a lot of people, it's like, shit, I'll get it done. I'll figure it out. And you wait till the very last minute, and then you're like, damn, I'm behind the 8 ball. So the big thing, if you're listening to this as a coach and being like, man, I'm doing so many sessions, how do I do this stuff? Really, the suggestion would be earmark 30 minutes a day and put something totally specific that you must do every day, even if it's 1 wellness call, 1 Facebook post, and 1 client reach out to somebody that's done a great job, or somebody that's not been in the gym, or reactivation. It's like 3 or 4 touch points a day compounded over a year is a shitload of touch points. And just, can you speak to what are some of the metrics that you do have on the defensive scorecard that you think somebody would be able to adopt? Like, what are some of those metrics?
We have a sheet that says like attendance calls. So if through Anomaly, we see like how many days hasn't the client been here. So we have a 10 or above, So all those people who haven't been here more than 10 days, we give them a call. And then at the end of the month, we calculate how many people in those 4 weeks. And then we have our scorecard. It's like our annual scorecard so we calculate it for the month. Let's say we have 8, and then we put it to 8 for the annual sport for the month of August. We have the amount of reach outs that we do.
Which is how many?
So for me, I do one for me and then one for Kat every week, reach outs, and then successful reach outs. So let's say I ask Kat, or like, give me one name and then what do they do? Let's say Kayla Gonzalez just pulled 350. All right, give Kayla a call.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Kayla, awesome job, 350, congratulations. So that's 2 for me. And then 2 impact cards. So I ask Kat, I ask myself and I ask Kat, who do you want to do an impact card this week? Like Sonny, let's say she says Sonny Carpenter. And like, what Sonny did? Sonny just got a new car. All right, Sonny, congratulations, new car. You've been awesome training here. You bring an awesome environment. Love, Kat Espinal. Dot. And then she just says what I write it. And then she just says like what she wants me to write. I write one in script and one in normal. So there's differentiation. But yeah. And then I tell Steph to allocate her time as a leader. For you guys that are watching, and to allocate your time, ask one coach to do an impact card, ask one coach to do a reach out. You don't have to do it all in by yourself. As a leader, you must know how to allocate your time and your efforts to make more time for you to lead the business. The
Yeah,
more time you have for yourself, the more ideas you get to give a path for where we're going. If I didn't have Kat with me, I didn't have time to like think about what's the next joint venture. I don't have time to, that's why it's so important to be in the same page and having those meetings, because you could allocate your time to those different people, which makes more time for you.
Yeah.
Another metric is
I was gonna back up on that,
Go
but
ahead.
I think Ridgewood's a little bit more, obviously it's smaller than Orangeburg. So for me, like the leadership role in where I'm at has been like tough for the last year and a half, because I'm used to just doing everything kind of on my own. So it's like being able to now like ask the coaches to do like one impact card a week. It's not really taking away from them coaching. It's also just giving back to somebody that they've been training for the last like 2 or 3 weeks, and them writing in our little sheet on Google, so I don't double dip and write a card for that same person. It's all about communication for us too, and writing what we posted on Facebook, birthday recognitions, getting Google reviews. We've been getting a lot of them, so just posting them. And putting out like what did we post in Slack for the media for the week. So just writing everything out, and the reach outs with the reactivations could just be an easy like, hey, how have you been? I haven't seen you in a year. Like I want to see how you're doing, because it's been a while. And just the referral reach outs too, just writing everything out and knowing which clients we reached out to has been very helpful. So we're not like double dipping or triple messaging these people, knowing that they're like, okay, maybe this is a little too much. And the check-in, like the visit reports, has been super cool too, like having those boards and writing out like, hey, for this month, the person that hit 50 workouts this month, we're going to take a picture with them and highlight their successes. There's 1,000 check-ins. There's 2,000. Liz is getting up to 2,000.
Yeah.
So
So
she's hyped up about that stuff too. But writing everything out, and even with the adult of the month, like giving a gift to the adult of the month every month is super easy. It's just giving back to everybody, and them again tying into staying on the same page with all the coaches, but that could go a long way for them to maybe bring their close relative or a friend, or them giving us a word to a family event and anything that they go to. Just making sure that everybody's really happy to be at Varsity House is the goal, and being important in that.
So for the clients, for the people that are listening right now, It's you might as well write this down. It's reach outs, impact cards, a highlight for the Facebook group, how many the people who are new to the Facebook, a birthday recognition, Google reviews, testimonials, the amount of media content we do in Slack. That's weekly. Monthly, we go through how many people we celebrate people who have 50 workouts, 100
Yeah,
workouts, up to
like you just
2,000
mentioned.
workouts. And then we
Yeah.
go through, the discretionary spend of an adult, our training improvement report, our client case study, and you wouldn't believe my gym did, quote unquote. It's like one of those one of our examples, we brought coffee in. That goes through our defensive meeting. And then our quarterly events, our speakeasy workouts, joint ventures, and special program leases, which
We're
what
gonna
I
get
did. Go ahead.
we're gonna
Gonna get
get to
there.
those.
Gonna
We're
hit
gonna
it.
get to those events. We're gonna get to those. I want you to talk about those, but it's such a great point where, you get a lot of people that and they'll have like we speak to a lot of gyms and a lot of people that are in the industry and it'll almost have a negative connotation to being like, oh, people don't want to be reached out to, or people don't want to be celebrated, or um, you know, the Facebook is dead. I love that one. Email doesn't work. I love that one
Yeah.
too. And it's the thing that you both have done a fantastic job of, and as has the rest of our team, but you two specifically, is just being focused on doing the work without being concerned with the result of that work. And when you're trying to improve a retention score or an attrition percentage, that shit doesn't happen overnight. It might take 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, a year to really affect change. And, we're a mature business and we're not saying like you need to get coffee trucks or to have this elaborate discretionary spend, but the things like cards, text messages, celebrating the amount of sessions somebody's done with you, um, recognition in front of their peers, all these things are free. But it's amazing how much time can go by. And it happened here where we'd be like, oh, like when was the last time we sent cards? Oh shit, it's been 3 months. What Steph and Colin have done that's been tremendous is that no, like it's a checklist item, and this is how many we do a week, and it's an input. This is what we're doing. And the volume of it amongst our crew, I mean, we've sent out over the years now thousands of cards. We've sent out, and I see it through Nomly, shout out to Nomly, thousands of text messages per month across the 3 facilities. So it makes a difference. It doesn't take 5 hours a day. It can take 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week, and it will 1000% reduce the it will reduce your attrition percentage. So I have one more question for the two of you, and it's really we have people might say like, how do you measure the success of something like this, and what are some of the key performance indicators that you keep? And obviously the attrition percentage, we're looking to keep our attrition percentage across the board at 5% or less, so that's the primary. But we're also looking to get 20% of our total clientele to refer somebody in a given year. So for an example, if we have 100 clients, we're looking for 20 of them to refer somebody that becomes a member. And we're looking for 10% of our total clients to reactivate. So for every 100 clients you have, you should be able to count on, with an athlete business, it's a little bit different, but 10% of your clients should reactivate. So those are the KPIs: 5% attrition, 20% referral rate, 10% reactivation. So Steph and Colin, with that in mind, if somebody's hearing that, and we've done every event under the sun in the last, freaking almost 20 years, being that you're the ones that are putting on the events and going to the events and thinking about the events, which events have been most impactful and meaningful towards referrals, reactivations, and just dropping a attrition percentage. In your opinion, if you had to run one event, you were going to, you were going to visit another gym, they're contracting you to run one event to stimulate sales opportunities and improve member retention and experience, what event are you running?
For me, it would be a beginner's program. A beginner's program, through Bring a Friend. Because there's two ways people think, oh, I'm scared at the gym, going to the gym, to these big gyms, and I need someone to go with. So doing a beginner's program on, let's say, every Friday for this month, or every 2 Fridays, every other Friday this month, we're going to do a Bring a Friend for a beginner's program.
Love it.
Love it. Let's say your schedule is from 6 to 11, and then you end at 1 o'clock. That 1 hour, that, let's say, you do a defensive scorecard, you do all the reach outs, whatever. For that month, you have that hour, do a beginner's program, Bring a Friend. Or let's say it's Father's Day coming up soon. Bring your father for a beginner's program as a referral.
I agree with that.
I love that.
That's been it's been helpful.
You can't agree with him. You got to pick you got to pick another avenue. You're gonna bring us home here, Steph. This is one thing. You're getting consulted. There's a gym. They're on the brink. They need to bring up their community. They need to improve their vibe. They need to,
Took my whole spiel.
No, you can't. Listen. You gotta find another route here. Come on.
I mean, I'm like thinking about it. What's helped, I feel like, honestly, when we did the La Viola event here with like the barbecuing, and it was simple of doing just like a row and ski-a-thon, like something simple that people can just like jump into and not feel intimidated by. I think building like a whole like day worth, or like I think Synergy did like their Olympic Games, and shout out to them. That workout almost killed me, but just doing something to give back to the community and like have like them bring their families without it being like this whole process, and it could turn into that. But like doing a barbecue and bringing everybody around and having people outside and enjoying the weather, and playing games outside, like I feel like that's just helped so much along the way, that people have referred other clients because of those events. And even for me, I think going to parties and being fortunate enough to be invited to different parties, Lorna had her 40th birthday at her house, and there was 5 people that are now members here. Like they joined because they just spoke to us at this party.
Right.
But I think
it humanizes the business.
Yeah. And going to a client's probably 60th birthday and like building that relationship where people are like, oh, you work at that gym. Like, what's that gym all about? And just talking to them about that, without it coming off as like, oh, I'm like this, salesperson and I'm trying to bring you into the gym. But them seeing that, oh, you were inviting your friends from the gym. It's not friends that you've known your whole life. You've met these people last year, and they're showing up to your family events, your birthday parties, and all these different things. So I think, for me, it's just having like a whole event where it's like 5-6 hours where they could just come in and just hang out with everybody and just see the place and just have it be this, bringing the community in. And it could be us just talking to them about training, but it'll go a long way. I think for me, I think that's helped a lot.
The clarifying question that you both have done an excellent job with, and I'll be honest, on the show here, I'll ask clarifying questions in our leadership meetings, and the question is, what are we doing this week to be positively referenced at the dinner table for families? What are we doing for people to talk about us at the dinner table with their family? And I'll tell you, the creativity that's come from that question has been fantastic. I mean, Colin rattled off like 15 things that they're doing in Ridgewood this next month. I don't even know when half of it is. I know it's listed. I'm going to be at
So
quite a bit
what?
of it, but I'm excited. Like,
Gosh.
listen, September 13th, the 3-year anniversary, you and Kat ran with that at McMurphy's. And it's just, people are going to talk about that, picking up the first few drinks for people. And it's just, it's not normal, right? And people talk about things that aren't normal. It's not normal to get a card from a business. It's not normal for, a business to have a free Thanksgiving workout for charity. Like, it's just not that normal. And it might be more commonplace now, but we are trying to create those moments across the board. And I can say, and Steph and Colin have done a fantastic job with that. And thank you both for doing that. You're both kicking ass. And for anybody that wants to reach out to pick your brain offline or online, where can they find you? Steph, where can they
Ooh.
find you? Email, social, whatever you got.
Um, my email is steph@varsityhousegym.com, and my Instagram is nutritional freak, as funny as that is, but that's been my slogan since I was growing up, so I'm gonna stick with it. But
Cool.
I'm open to both of those platforms for sure.
Awesome. Colin.
You could email me, Colin, Colin at varsityhousegym.com. I mean, if you want my personal number, you can get it from Dan. And I don't really care
Don't
whoever
throw
has my
his
personal
personal number
number.
out on the
I'm not
podcast.
gonna say it in the podcast, but you can have my personal number. Just ask it from Dan. Just need confirmation from
Yeah. All
big guy
right.
here, and
Cool.
then you can have a personal number. I don't care. Whatever.
It's awesome. You both are crushing it. And
Thank
if
you.
you're a gym out there, or a trainer, somebody that's looking to improve their community, these two are experts at that. Super creative. They have so much fun doing it. And what I could say is, if you're trying to hire this role, what Colin and Steph both have is, it's part of their DNA to be social. It's part of their DNA to make people laugh and smile. And that is the most critical component to, I think, likability, is the ability to do that. And they both do a tremendous job at that. So if you're looking to hire and fill that role, or you're looking to improve your skill set with that, that's a critical component of it, and it is one that can be learned. So, Colin and Steph, thank you for being on the Business of Strength podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.